business owner will bring in more business acumen than being a government-run affair. That is why so many people are having confidence in this NNPC of a thing. That now that it is going to be a privately run outfit, we should expect good things from it. But the days of NNPC spending even more than what they earn should be over. Because the way you run a private business will be quite different from the way you run a public business. And I think we should expect something good. And for the Lola, you asked the question earlier that do I have confidence in this new arrangement with Tom Polo? I can't really say. The Saudi Arabia template we are talking about, we should consider the peculiarities we have in our own country. And one of the major things that bring that peculiarities is this tendency that we want to be corrupt with everything. Until we are able to address the area of corruption, we won't get all these things done.
Or the militants who feel like their land and the environment
they are
is being
entitled to
plundered.
it. It's their land. It's what God has given them.
And that's a factor that
and everybody the way they are supposed to be addressed. Handle everything. Give everybody what they are entitled to. I don't think somebody raised the issue of the things that are being mined outside the south, in the north, and where some individuals in a particular government, individuals in a state are running it and they are making money out of it. These are some of the things that the government will have to address. And that is why some people will tell you that until we go back to that restructuring of a thing, we might not get it right.
Okay, let's rest the issue for now. If you want to talk about it, you can engage us on Twitter in that regard. If perhaps before we get to end the program, if your messages come in on Twitter as well as WhatsApp, would do justice by reading them. But let's proceed now to the second segment of this call from the pages, and also to let you know that we're live on Facebook now, and so you can also get to send us your thoughts via that platform. Live on Facebook, the handle is as Splash FM 1067. When you put that all together into the search bar on Facebook, to take you straight to our page where you see a live video stream there, and you can send us your comments. So I have with me The Nation as well as Vanguard newspaper this morning.
I'll go through Punch and Premium Times.
Okay, looking through the Vanguard, a lot of stories. The big one is this: disquiet in PDP over Wike's preferred candidate remarks. Also, photos have emerged of Jonathan hosting Tinubu as well as APC governors, and some other stories. Now we have this one as well. How police uncovered Ede killers, and that's according to a deceased family council. We also do have, again, the reps berate Accountant General's office for playing Father Christmas to MDAs. We have this as well. ASU and the future of the university system. As a matter of fact, there is also a report. NNPC, there's this one: NNPC banks and Dangote state-owned refineries to end fuel importation. We have this as well: Navy disagrees with Petroleum Ministry over quantity of stolen oil. Disquiet in PDP over Wike's preferred candidate remarks. We talked about that earlier. And ASU, government to reopen varsities, calls meetings of pro-chancellors, VCs. Those are the stories we have from the Vanguard newspaper. From The Nation, we have this one: appeal courts set aside 20 billion naira damages awarded Igboho. We have this as well: reconsider your position on indefinite strike, FG tells ASU. Also, we have reports on the meeting between President Buhari and the governors of the All Progressives Congress yesterday. We have this as well: YFG awarded pipeline surveillance contract to Tom Polo. Southwest APC women leaders strategize for Tinubu's victory. These are the stories that we have from The Nation.
From Punch newspaper, we have indefinite strike. Federal government summons varsity councils, vice chancellors as parents grumble. 2 dead, 8 rescued in Kano building collapse. Ondo beefs up security in parks, urges CCTV. Police arrest 3 for terrorizing Benue community. EFCC fined 1 million naira over unlawful invasion of firm. That's an interesting one because I know that security agencies have always maintained that, they have the right to,
invade.
yes, invade and investigate when they have a tip-off. More stories from The Punch. Undergraduate lovers die in Kwara hostel. Corpses found naked. All right, a bit of morbid one there. Dangote refinery gets 300,000 barrels per day from NMPC. This says, more stories now. 46 billion naira debt. NCAA threatens to withdraw airlines licenses. Manufacturers' woes continue as industry shrinks by 33%. This story says, hoodlums invade Lagos communities, rob residents, victims lament. Federal government projects 120 trillion naira as 3-year consumption expenditure. Tinubu seeks Jonathan's support. APC denies rift. Defections raise Kano stake. Presidential heavyweights battle for massive votes. And let's see what we can find from Premium Times newspaper. Kiari says Nigeria is losing 95%, not even 80%, like Abayomi said earlier. 95% oil production at Bonny Terminal to theft. NMPC, why we awarded multi-billion naira pipeline protection contract to Tompolo. 2 teenagers die in Jigawa boat mishap. Nigeria threatens to shut down domestic airlines over debt, gives 30-day deadline. Buhari to APC governors, I will not interfere in 2023 elections. NMPC in locked pact to supply Dangote refinery crude oil for 20 years. Those are some of the stories from Premium Times newspaper.
All right, we still have the luxury of having Abayomi Babalola with us in the studio this morning, and it would help us make a sense of some of the stories from these papers this morning. Let's look at, in as much as, for what it's worth, you want to stay away from the PDP Wike Atiku feud, but it keeps popping up in your face every single time. And the latest is the fact that, according to the Vanguard, this agreement disquiet, in PDP over Wike's preferred candidate remarks. And this came after, let me get to that point, where former governor of Kaduna State, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, asked Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and his new Nigeria People's Party NNPP counterpart Rabi Kokonso to swallow their ambition and return to the PDP. However, Governor Wike yesterday urged McCarthy to stop bad-mouthing him and be focused on ensuring he delivers victory in Kaduna for the PDP in next year's elections. Wike, Atiku, the PDP, apparently, Wike wanted Yochayu to step down as the party's chairman because of what some term as the gentleman's agreement of zoning, which has been violated by the PDP according to how Wike sees it. Where does this leave the PDP altogether?
First, do you know how it feels to be that beautiful bride that everybody wants to see, everybody's
courting?
Yes, everybody wants to take pictures with and the likes. And that is what Wike is enjoying now. Everybody, even the reporters, everybody wants to listen to Wike. They want to hear from Wike. And he's banking on that he's capitalizing on that to get the attention. But let's look at the substance of the things he's saying. PDP is having their national chairman from the north, their presidential candidate from the north.
Right.
And there was allegedly this unwritten gentleman agreement that the next president will come from the south. Now that has been violated. So you look at what Wike is fighting for, and you think that there could be some elements of reasoning there. But then the way he's handling it is what some people would think is too much for him. That is why the likes of Ahmed McAfee is telling him to take it easy. I think this Jigawa State governor too, I think Bala Muhammad too,
Right.
all of them were saying, in fact, if Wike goes to APC, he will become a liability on them eventually. They want him to stay. But then there will be terms and conditions that should be fulfilled before Wike. And the funny thing is this. How sure is it for Wike that he's going to deliver the whole of Rivers State for whichever party he wants his people to go to? Because you know that before now, he has decimated APC in that state. If he now moves over to APC, of course, politicians, they have a way of moving their people.
Supporters.
The population of Rivers State should be around maybe 9 or 10 million.
They're about.
And don't be surprised if Wike tells you that he's moving 15 million voters to APC. You wonder what the population of the state is. And in another news item, you hear PDP telling you that, because of what Wike has done, and there are some people in PDP that says they want to remain in PDP. They are now having another 16 million voters decamping to PDP. You hear all that. But for me, it is not the soul or the interest of Nigerians that these people are fighting for. They're fighting for their relevance in politics. They want to remain at the corridor of power. I am waiting for a politician that will say, after 8 years in office, I am taking a bow out of active politics. I am waiting for any of them to say that. But these people, they will still want to be there as the godfather, as moving from a governor to Senate, coming back from Senate to vice presidents, presidents, and the likes. It's the time for Wike. Let him enjoy it while it lasts. But then, whichever way it goes, if Wike eventually ends up in the losing party, we'll hear a lot after 2023 election.
Okay, looking at this from the angle of the PDP, I mean, they seem to be losing a lot of sleep over Wike's disposition to hosting myriads of people. Is hanged out with Tinubu of the APC. He's also done that with Peter Obi and several other people. And so it just seems to have a neutral position as it stands, as against going all out for the PDP as most would expect him. The question is, considering that disposition of Wike now, should the PDP be bothered, really?
PDP will be bothered because most of the major players in PDP today had one time or the other left that party. They had decamped to another party and now they came back. But Wike stood his ground. He financed that party. At a point, he was their major financier. And you want to compensate him with something. Some people will ride on that sentiment that, this man has been a party man through and through. You are supposed to give him something. If Wike too had decamped to APC, and every one of them, they had collapsed PDP, which platform will they come back to today? So he has a right to be angry. But then I think it's a matter of compromise. Yes, we have erred. We have made some mistakes in the past. In fact, the primaries held was not as expected. But sir, what do we do? I read from somewhere that one of the conditions he was given Atiku Abubakar was that the former vice president will only be in office for a term, and then after that, he will cede it back to the South, and the South in particular, and probably Wike in particular. Politicians, I want to believe that Atiku can accede to that.
Okay.
But after assuming office, things will change. A particular candidate here in Ogun State has told people who care to listen that he just wants to be governor for one term, and after that one term, that is what they will always tell you. So the PDP has a right, the party has a right to be concerned, to be jittery with what Wike is doing now, because he has, they believe that he has that backing, he has the followership of even his colleagues in the governors forum.
Right.
There are some that still will listen to him, like Samuel Otom, like our own Sheyi Makinde and the likes.
Right.
So they have reasons to be worried. And it now depends on how they are able to handle it. You remember that a few weeks back, APC was battling with the Muslim ticket. Nobody is talking about the Muslim issue again, because they stood their ground. They were able to appeal to some people, especially religious outfits, and they are moving on. So I want to believe that they will move on. Either Wike remains in PDP, or it decamps eventually, or he remains neutral. PDP will move on, and the election for 2023 should be a big battle for the two parties.
All right, we're due for another commercial break. So when we come back, we'll look at a story more and then open up the phone lines so you can weigh in on any of the stories that we've touched on this month. This is Panorama, reaching you live from the Integrity Station, Splash 106.7 FM. Stay here. Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash, your integrity station.
Fún ìtẹ̀síwájú ayẹyẹ ọdún kẹta ti Frapjust Family Estate and Investments Limited tí ń talẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn fọ́mọ Nàìjíríà. Ẹ̀dínwó sì ń lọ lórí àwọn ilẹ̀ wa gbogbo. Divine Grace ní Randa 100,000 naira dípò 150,000 naira. Ilẹ̀ Pàkújẹ́ Ọ̀bádà Oko àti Diamond Estate nítòsí Buhari Estate lọ́nà Kọ̀bàpẹ́ 200,000 naira dípò 300,000 naira. Ilẹ̀ oko fáwọn àgbà afọkọ́sọ̀rọ̀ ní Ọ̀bà àti Ọ̀bádà Ìjẹ̀mí 30,000 naira dípò 40,000 naira. Pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ yín Frapjust Farmers Club yóò bá yín ṣètò dídáko àti kíkórè oko nírọ̀rùn. Àǹfààní wà fún gbé tán tàbí san díẹ̀díẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń san owó ilẹ̀ yín ẹ ó tún máa gba àwọn ẹ̀bùn ọdún lóríṣiríṣi. Adùn ibẹ̀ gangan ni wípé ẹni tó bá san 50,000 naira nínú owó ilẹ̀ yóò gbàdá fún draw ticket. Èyí tí ẹni mẹ́ta ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ yóò ti fi 1 million naira ṣèfàjẹ́. Gbogbo ẹ̀ fún ayẹyẹ ọdún kẹta yìí náà ni o. Láti àkókò yìí títí lọ di ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀dógún oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún tá a wà nínú rẹ̀ yìí ní àǹfààní yìí máa dópin o. Láti pẹ̀lú àwọn olóríire jẹ́ àǹfààní yìí ẹ tètè máa bọ̀ ní Jídé Jones Way beside Aira Kitchen Òkèléwú Abẹ́òkúta tololo 0702 5636 0702 5636. Má kàn rálẹ̀ ṣá ìfọkànbalẹ̀ ní kó rà.
kájọ oúnjẹ tó dára kọ́kọ́ ẹ̀ ní o balẹ̀ tónílé tàlejò tó wọ̀lú Abẹ́òkúta bí a ti ń béèrè pé ibo ni ilé oúnjẹ ìgbàlódé táwọn ti lè jẹ oúnjẹ gidi má dojú tì mí Olúwa Foods ń làwọn èèyàn júwe kò lè má rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tọ́rọ́jọ́ wọn ti pẹ́ nínú ká tó oúnjẹ aládìídùn àgbékalẹ̀ ọ̀tún sílé oúnjẹ má dojú tì mí Olúwa gbé wọ̀ kò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tẹ́bi òpá gan bá wọlé síbẹ̀ yóò fẹ́ jẹun níṣá pẹ̀láwọn fried rice àti jollof rice tó rẹ̀ dòdò nínú glass. Wá jẹ mí lẹ̀fọ́ ẹlẹ́gùsí àtẹ̀fọ́ rírò wí ewédú àti gbẹ̀gìrì ògbẹ́yìn òkèlè lóríṣiríṣi ajajaja àwọn catfish wẹ̀láwẹ̀lá tilapia fish ògúnfẹ̀ àti káwọ́mẹ̀tì rẹ̀ rí gidigidi. Má dojú tì mí Olúwa Foods. Do you want the best local or international dishes? We got you covered as we give you the best when it comes to indoor and outdoor catering services. We also have bar where you can get any drink of your choice. Ẹ kàn sí wa lónìí Má dojú tì mí Olúwa Food House tó wà ní number 1 Abiola Way Má dojú tì mí junction Abẹ́òkúta ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn telephone 0806-522-6442. Má dojú tì mí Olúwa Foods, dishing out the best considering your budget.
Gbogbo ọ̀nà ire ní níléeṣẹ́ àgbájọ Homes and Property Nigeria Limited. Àwọn ilẹ̀ wọn kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí ló ń tà torí pé ó pọ̀ ju owó rẹ̀ lọ. Ilẹ̀ ìbára orílẹ̀ kọ́pàpẹ́ àgbòdo 200,000 ní tẹ́lẹ̀ báyìí lórí promo wọn 100,000 lẹ́sàn. Tẹ̀sí